Guys, we are back for another exciting episode of the hashtag Wednesday Match Play presented by Eat Sleep Golf. And it's kind of nice that tonight's guest is actually able to hear me and see me because we had him scheduled on a prior episode and for whatever reason, and I blame technology, didn't work. But we're back. We're going to be talking socks tonight. And that doesn't sound exciting, right? We're going to be talking about socks. Well, guess what? I got about 20 questions about this company and the guy sitting in front of us. But before we get started, I just wanted to take a second to just remember the king. And it's the first episode of this show since Arnold passed. And I got to say, I was kind of taken a little bit by surprise when I heard the news. And I was just telling Ed that, you know, Arnold and I, like, I've never met him, and I never got the chance to really see him play outside of just his tee shots at the Masters and so forth. But, you know, it's just the drink is so well known. You see it everywhere you go. And I saw a couple of videos on YouTube of people making them and sharing their memories. So I do encourage everybody watching this to, one, leave your comments in the section below about your memories with Arnold, and if you've met him, if you've got any links to any articles or pictures or what have you, and to make an Arnold Palmer. Like in the video that he did an interview or a commercial with ESPN last year or the year before, and like he's literally in the line making an Arnold Palmer, and it's hilarious. So, you know, it's somebody that changed the scope and that changed the face of golf, and he's going to be remembered forever. And you know, I'm excited that I had the chance to see and hear interviews with him over the years, and YouTube is a great place to reminisce. So I encourage everyone to go out and do that. And I don't know, Ed, do you have anything that you want to add to that? I don't know if you've got any personal experience having met or having seen Arnold, but
yeah, never met Arnold, but growing up in my early teens or even single digits, I was always Arnold Palmer. You know, you pick a golfer to be when you're playing a game, and that was me. He was my guy. So yeah, it hit me hard too, and we'll miss him, man. True gentleman, and professional, and just a great man.
Well, I don't want to just take from a somber moment and jump right into the interview, but, you know, as they say, the show must go on, and Arnold's in a better place now looking down, and I hope he's watching this up in heaven, and heaven definitely got better with him joining them. And I'm excited to, one, because we did have so many technical difficulties the last time, that, one, we were able to get you back on the show in such a timely manner, but I'm excited to learn more about the product. And let's just start at the top. The name, sure. LIFT23. Where in the world did that come from? What does it mean? What is 23? Like, just where did the name come from?
All right. So I started this company about 2 years ago, and LIFT23, I started with a ski sock. I'm a big skier, big golfer, two of my passions. So the name LIFT is a double entendre, really. It's lift is a chairlift, and lift as far as lifting spirits. We have a social mission involved with our products. So not only do we make premium performance golf socks, we also give back to different charities and organizations that we feel we have a connection with. So with the ski sock, we donate a pair of socks to a homeless child in need for every pair we sell. So when I started the company, I did some research, and I found out in New York City alone, there's 23,000 homeless kids living in the shelters. So I made that my first social mission, is to get 23,000 socks on all those kids. And that just kind of stuck with us, and that became our brand. So LIFT23, the 23 represents that those 23,000 kids in our first social mission, which in 2 years we're halfway there. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good feat, and it's just a real motivator for us, really.
That is, I mean, cool is not the word for it. That is a crazy cool answer to that question. Like, I didn't want it to be like, oh yeah, I was 23 and I started this company next. Like, that's a really cool, and the lift, and you know, I'm thinking about the way that I lift a golf ball because I'm a golfer. So obviously I'm wearing these socks because I don't like being cold. Like 80 is cold where I come from. So right. I can't imagine being any colder than that. So very cool. That's cool that's where it all started. So
yeah.
Now the golf socks are premium. What
Yes.
makes a golf sock premium over just a regular golf sock? Like, and then even the second part to that, is there an ultra premium or like next level from premium? Like you go from a regular sock to a premium sock. Like, talk me through that process.
I think we are at the premium right now, but we are trying to create an ultra premium. Actually, I'm really a mad scientist when it comes to fibers, and that started about 20 years ago when I was working in the ski shop, and I was trying to develop this ski sock So I've just been mixing fibers and materials literally for like 20 years and learned what works and what doesn't. And we're premium because we use a merino wool, which is the best fiber for wicking moisture, and which keeps the feet dry, and in the summer keeps it cool, and in the winter keeps it warm because it just keeps it dry. So cold feet in the winter is horrible, and sweaty feet is not a good thing in the summer months when or where you are in the heat. So we use the merino wool, which is it's an expensive fiber. So the bigger brands don't use it because it's our price point's at a higher range than most, and we mix it with a spandex and acrylic and some nylon. And I mean, you've tried them, right? I mean, the feedback's...
That's a segue to one of my next questions, is about the fact that I've been dying to open these black ones, because the white ones I think I've worn about 4 times now. So
yeah. So so they are merino wools are really, people think wool, they think abrasive and winter, but like I said, they're the best for wicking the moisture away from your feet, which also helps with these socks will never smell. It takes that moisture, pulls them to the outside of the socks through that wicking capability, and then that moisture just releases on the outside of the sock. So you heard it here first. These socks will never smell. And
challenge accepted.
And we actually, what's kind of unique to our socks, as far as the merino wool goes, we triple wash the merino, so it's super soft. So when you feel the sock, you put them on, it's going to be like nothing you've put on before. It's like butter.
It's like butter. That should be your tagline.
It's like butter.
That's awesome.
It's like sex for your feet, really. Actually, someone told me that the other day. I was like, hey, I don't know if I can use that, but hey, here we go.
It depends. I mean, I don't know. So now you touched on a little bit, I mean, about the mission of what LIFT23 is all about, but talk a little bit more about that and how it went from just being a concept of making these socks to turning it into what you're doing and trying to put socks on all of these kids.
I'm an entrepreneur. It's in my blood. I've had a few other businesses. My last business being a commercial carpentry business, which went well for about 6 years. I was in it 8 years. And the last 2 years was just about trying to collect money and, doing the right job, but trying to collect money from general contractors. And I just got sick of it. And, I've been developing this sock. I've been giving it to friends and family. The feedback was amazing. My wife actually just told me, why don't you just do something with this sock? I mean, you've been talking about it for years. Let's just, why don't you have a run with it? So actually started with an Indiegogo campaign, which is similar to a Kickstarter. We had a very successful campaign, and we just kind of rolled it from there and started selling door to door at ski shops. And currently we're in about 35 ski shops across the country. And then just last 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, we introduced the golf sock, my other passion. So that was the easy segue to go into the golf. And so now we're in 50 golf shops in just 4 months, and we've raised just about $5,000 for PGA Hope, which I guess we should talk about as well.
Yes, we should. Go ahead.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you said the golf thing, because if you hadn't introduced the golf sock, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have met, and you wouldn't have this opportunity to be on the Wednesday match play. So now nobody get excited about that, because I'm not going to start like the ski slope, or I don't even know the terminology. That's how much I dislike the cold.
Okay.
So anyway, let's talk about what you were just alluding to, that it wasn't one of my questions, but I'm glad that you brought that up.
Okay, so I used to be a golf assistant. I worked at Westchester Country Club. My mentor there, John Kennedy, who's retiring there after, shoot, I don't even know how many years. But I worked for him for a year, and then got a job in Naples, Florida, just for the winter season, and ended up staying there 6 years. So I've been in the golf business. I was in the golf business in my early 20s and really enjoyed it, but wanted to try something else as well. So I went to him before I launched the golf sock and basically asked him, who do you think would be a good partner, charitable partner for my golf socks? You know, I have with the ski socks I give to the kids in need. Who do you think might be a good beneficiary of the socks? And right away he mentioned PGA Hope. And PGA Hope is, well, Hope is an acronym for Helping Our Patriots Everywhere. And basically what they do is they take guys, veterans out of the VA hospitals and other guys in the community, and all the professionals come out and they teach them golf for 7 weeks, these little clinics. And let me tell you something, man. It's at first I'm like, oh great, my great uncle is a veteran and a well-decorated veteran. He was always my idol growing up. I said, this makes sense, and this is something I can get definitely involved in. But I started going to the clinics, because I had some past experience teaching. And let me tell you, man, these guys, I'm getting goosebumps here, man. They are so appreciative of the pros doing what they're doing, and for the Met section. I mean, it's all over the country now, but the Met section where I was, they were just appreciative just to be out there and be recognized. And the little thank yous, you have no idea how far it goes until you're actually interacting with them. I had one guy pull me aside and he said, he's like, see all these guys around here high-fiving, tapping each other's butts? He goes, I haven't seen these guys talk like this or laugh like this in years. He's like, you have no idea what this program's doing. So after hearing that, man, I'm like, I'm fully engaged and excited and honored to be part of this program, and being able to bring and donate money to it is just it's awesome. It's like a dream come true, really, man.
That's really cool. So let's talk about that. Where can I buy these socks? Like, I mean, obviously on the web, but are there any places you talk about ski shops and golf shops? Like, how am I as a consumer going to go get them? And then two, how are you growing and getting into more ski shops and into more golf shops?
Yeah, we're a small company. It's myself. I have a couple sales reps across the country. And we've been really focusing on the green grass shops, the country clubs. We feel it's a good way for us to educate the assistant pros who are in the golf shops all day. They all know about the PGA Hope program. They know where the socks. They know the whole program where we actually give money instead of socks. We change the model around a little bit, so we give $1 for every pair we sell. And so I give socks to the pros. They love them, and they're able to talk about them and talk about the Hope program, which is good for the Hope program as well. And we thought that would be a good way to get the narrative out there and build a foundation. And then you can always buy them online, www.lift23.com. And then I'm looking at some bigger retailers. There's not a ton of them out there right now. The Golf Galaxy and the Dick's and Golf Smiths and Chapter 11 right now. But there's a few like that. But we're going to be more grassroots and just kind of build it from there. But like I said, our online business is it's probably the best way to get it for someone watching the show. So
you offer free shipping. What happens if I live in Dubai or Australia? Is it going worldwide? Do you ship everywhere?
I do. I have a flat rate for international shipping. So yeah, we do a lot in the UK and Australia, believe it or not. So they like the LIFT23s out there.
We're on the same wavelength there. I knew that.
You knew that.
In Australia and or Dubai.
That's amazing.
Okay. So I said I like the white socks, and I am a huge fan, and I'm excited to put the black socks on. My shoes are gray, so they can go white or black, so it's not going to set off any style alarms. What other colors? I mean, do you go crazy? Do you have pink and yellow and green, or is it just white and black?
Yeah, like I said, this is our first launch, so we kept the SKUs low. With the manufacturing, you have certain minimums you got to keep. So with the small budget I have with the launch of this. We have three different, we have the black, white navy, and then the gray white for the men's. And then we have a white orange and a lime green white for the women's. However, I just signed up with for the merchandise PGA merchandise show.
Awesome.
And we have a booth there, and I'm creating some more products. You know, those are they come up just above the ankle. I'm making one that goes below. A lot of people had asked for that. And then we're working on a compression sock. That seems to be the trend of you know, what we get a lot of feedback from the pros. I'm trying to create the best socks out there, and you know, they're the best guys to get input from. So I'm taking what they're telling me, and I'm doing my magic and trying to put out products for them, and hopefully everyone else will appreciate it.
That's really cool. I'm glad they're going to be at the PGA show. I haven't been in a few years, but it's always it's a awesome place to go. And I'm not gonna like, you might have already had this idea, but if you haven't, come Breast Cancer Awareness Month, you should make a all pink sock, because one, I would wear pink, and two, you could donate some of the proceeds to that. I don't know if that's something you've thought about, but feel free to steal my idea if you haven't thought of that.
Consider stolen.
I'm gonna see this big advertisement, the commercials on TV. Yeah, like you're writing it down. Yeah. So now, as the blogger in the room, I'm gonna have to bring up your blog, because you have a blog on your website, but you haven't blogged in quite some time. I want you to blog more often.
Okay.
Do we see more blogs coming in the future? And I can see a lot of timing from the connection to the mission and the different types of socks, etc. More blog content coming, and what's that going to look like in the near future?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I wear many hats here at the companies, from creating products to sales to shipping to you name it. So I definitely have neglected that, but I've realized, and people are telling me the importance of it, and so I'm really going to put a strong effort into that. I'm right in the transition phase from golf to ski, and in the next couple weeks, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to put a real focus on that and be consistent and try to, you know, reach out to the people out there, because that's the only way to really grow. Yeah, for sure.
How do I know what size I wear? I have no idea. Like, I know my shoe size, but how do I pick a sock size? Like, this might be even deeper than what you're doing, but like, I mean, you're selling socks, so I got to know how to pair it. Do I just guess, or do you do small, medium, large? Like, kind of what's that look like for the consumer?
I do have a small, medium. I have a small, medium, large, and we based it off of shoe size to make it easy. So if you're a 9 shoe, you go with the large. On the packaging on the website, it'll say 9 to 12. You may, if you like a tight fitting sock, you may go with a medium if you're a size 9. So that's the low end of a large is a 9. So and we have an XL, which actually I'm expecting him this week. So that's a 12 plus. So the sweet spot is a size 10 for the large, and depending how you like the fit, you might, like I said, go with the medium if you're a 9. And if you're a 12, you might want to go with the XL.
So when Shaquille O'Neal calls you and he needs some socks, I mean, can he or somebody that's got a very large foot do a special order? I mean, you talk about minimums, but do you
Shaq, for Shaq, it'd probably work something out, man. You know, he'd give me. He's got quite the following, so for sure, I'd do a Shaq sock.
Shaq sock. And he'd have to be required to tweet about it, which it might be possible. So where are the actual socks produced?
You know, I have a great manufacturer who's stuck with me through, like I said, I'm a mad scientist, and overseas, and they have been making me prototypes for years, and they're really great. But you know, I am trying. It's tough to get a manufacturer to make my types of socks in the States, and I had a good conversation with the manufacturer in North Carolina today, because I think that would be the full package. You know, once I can actually manufacture them in the States, then, you know, I feel like I got everything. You know, I got quality sock, genuine mission, and then made in the States would be the triple crown. But yeah, so currently we're overseas, and you know, they've been pumping out really good product for me, and well, God bless. Are you about to sneeze?
I put myself on mute, and it didn't happen. I'm kind of mad that it didn't happen, because it was like creeping in there. So thank you.
So I think I have this. We'll see. I have this North Carolina guy this manufacturer. So we're trying to work out a deal.
That's really cool. That would be cool. The made in the USA.
Yeah, for sure.
Put on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have a lot of testimonials on your website. Obviously, you've received a lot of comments over the years on the socks. What are some of your favorites? And the flip side of that, have you ever had I mean, I can't imagine that you would, but have you ever had a negative comment about the quality or the production of the sock?
I think the best one was "Sex for Your Feet." I thought that was a pretty good one, man.
It's tough to beat that.
You put them on, you'll notice the difference. So a negative. There hasn't been any real negative. Super hot days. Some guys have been saying, it's 95 and they're wearing my socks and they said they sweat. And I'm like, okay, it's not a miracle sock. It's a great sock. It's better than any sock you can wear. But come on, man. So they made my initial one. I just wanted to be the most comfortable sock out there. So we're making one that's more of an ultralight. Because these are kind of a medium weight sock. So that's been the feedback. It's all positive, but maybe make something a little lighter weight. And so we're doing it. Anything that's, I don't look at it as negative. I just look at it as something to work on, and that's what we do.
That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, that's like people here in the summers that will complain about it being hot in Phoenix in the summer. Yeah, guess what? It's the desert. It's gonna be hot.
Move.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't like it, see ya.
Yeah.
So what if I order socks and I don't like them? Maybe I am one of those people that it doesn't fit, or I don't like the way it looks, or it's not the right color. Do you have a return policy?
I do. If you don't like them, you can send them back, and we will refund your money. And I haven't had that yet.
Really? But, that's cool. That's
it's within reason. If it's it's obvious if they've been worn 100 times or not. So I doubt someone's going to take the time to send them back and do that. But yeah, if it's the wrong size, I've had the wrong size, and they've I send them a self-addressed envelope. They put the socks in, they send them back, I send them a new one, and or actually I send them the new ones with the envelope, and then they send the old ones back. So it's happened once with a ski sock, but the fit's pretty good. We've put a lot of time into making sure that the sizes are correct, and but we'll return them. We stick behind them, and these are good socks.
That's really cool. So talk a little bit about your charity sponsors. You have a bunch of charity sponsors, so I don't even want to begin going through those, but talk a little bit about those, where they come from, how you choose who to work with, etc.
Right. Well, the first one is the first partner really was the New York City Department of Homeless Services. I met with them and proposed my idea, and they loved the idea, and they told me that socks are the most requested item coming out of the shelters and the least donated, because most people just donate used stuff, so you can't donate used socks. So I'm really fulfilling a need there, and they have embraced it, and they support me, and I support them, and it's a great. I just did I call them sock drops. I was in a few shelters on what was that, on Thursday, and it was great. I just hanging out with these kids. Actually, we did a little what do you call it, a focus group. So I had them helping me design different socks, and they were actually drawing socks and different designs for me, and gave me a way to interact with them. And I gave them the socks, and it was a great experience. And I mean, it's what drives me. And coming out of there, it just I get fired up, and it just makes it all worth it. It's I didn't want to start this. I didn't want to just be a sock guy. It's not enough. So I needed more behind it. This social mission has brought that element to it, and just makes it all worth it. So and yeah, we have a lot of different charities, but PGA Hope certainly is the New York City Department of Homeless Services. PGA Hope, and then what we did was, instead of just focusing on the New York City kids in need, for instance, in Florida, we work with His House, and it's another shelter for abused kids, and basically we just try to make sure we take care of the the communities, you know, more focus in the community. So someone in Florida, they may not want to be, you know, donating socks to New York. So we just try to pick charities in all these different geographical areas, so it becomes more of a community thing. And it's great because I get to visit them all every year and donate socks across the country, and it's just it's an awesome road trip. So yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah. So is there a difference between a male and a female sock? I mean, and if so, what is it?
Yeah, what we've done is we've just added a little bit more compression on the female sock because generally they run a little bit more narrow. But you know, every foot's different, and we try to put enough spandex and compression around the instep to make sure the sock holds. So if you know, from really thin to large, it has enough spandex to expand there. So we've really designed them to fit pretty much any type. So not really is the answer to your question as far as differences, because there's so many different types of feet out there, man, and we just try to accommodate as best we can.
So before we went live, I didn't tell you that this was going to fly by, and we're almost over time, but I've got a couple more questions. So real quick, there are a lot of sock manufacturers out there. I mean, you can name 3 or 4 just off the top of your head, but so what are you guys, outside of the obvious, what are you doing differently, and is it competitive? I mean, are you competing with the big guys, so to speak?
Yeah, you know, it's difficult to compete with the big guys because we don't have the big endorsements right now. We just have what I feel we have the best sock, and that's why we're going grassroots, and the pros are getting behind it, and we want to take it from the bottom up, you know, and then hopefully people will come to us from there, you know, the bigger box stores. Actually, online through Twitter, we had Justin Rose's caddy actually reached out to us. I sent him socks. He's wearing them in the Ryder Cup. Scott Piercy out of Las Vegas just sent him some socks. So we're starting to get recognized, and which is awesome. And you know, like the blog, like you suggested, I got to get back on there because the word's getting out. It's slowly but surely, but it's getting out there, man.
I mean, I was going to say that, you know, Ricky Potts, host of the Hashtag Wednesday Match Play and owner of the Google Plus Golf community, was wearing the socks. But when you say Justin Rose on the Ryder Cup, I'm immediately no longer relevant in that conversation. So.
You know.
So you talk about Twitter. I mean, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and the blog and the website, all these different networks. What's your favorite social network and why?
Lately, because it changes, but lately Twitter has given me the best feedback, and there's a lot of guys who people are active on. I mean, the people are active on Facebook as well, but it's mostly a friends community, I think. Twitter, you're able to access you know, a huge spectrum, and just a worldly spectrum, and you get to engage immediately, and I really like Twitter for that. You know, we've run a couple different programs. Actually, we just did I have a guy out in the Ryder Cup, and we had some passes given to us by Justin Rose's caddy, and we, you know, first one to respond to this tweet gets the passes. So we got people who are driving from Michigan because they won the passes, and they're going to get them to the Ryder Cup, and yeah, it's just it's very interactive. I feel like the Twitter, and big fan of it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it too. Just today I was posting some stuff to promote an interview that Gary Player did with a radio station in Dubai. So as far connected as those two things could be, I posted, and within 20 minutes Gary Player retweeted it, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, because
yeah, exactly.
I got a few other things on your mind right now this week than you do about retweeting an interview you did 3 weeks ago with the Dubai radio station. But nevertheless, it's cool because you have that ability to know when they have that little, you know, that check mark verify that, you know, it's that person. Like,
I know, yeah, that's what's cool.
Really communicating with you. And the story of Justin Rose's caddy being able to give you tickets to the Ryder Cup, to be able to imagine the experience that those people are having this week because of that relationship. And
exactly.
I'm right there with you on Twitter. Well, I got to tell you, the black ones are going to be worn this week. I'm just going to go ahead and just take the tag right off. And they literally have been sitting on my desk since I got them, waiting for this episode. So they're getting worn this week. I'm playing True North Golf Club on Sunday, so I'm going to wear them then. Now, before we let you go, though, we are out of time, but sorry, we're not done yet, because we have what's called the back 9. It's just 9 fun questions that are more about you than they are the brand. So are you ready for your back nine?
Not really, but go ahead.
It's not like they're that hard. I mean. So how many different pair of socks do you own?
Oh, Jesus. You have no idea. I mean,
that's a great answer. You have
it's ridiculous. If I could like take the computer, but it's my office is just full of socks. It's you could just dive into them really. So a ridiculous amount.
A ridiculous amount. I like that. So next question. Now today, I know you're a beer guy. You're not drinking out of the glass, but I'm not going to count that against you too much because you are drinking beer. Today is actually National Drink Beer Day, and more than one person in my office came over to me today. Hey, do you know what today is? And I knew the answer because it was all the beer guys in the office.
There you go.
I'm drinking beer. You're drinking beer. Let's have a drink. What are you ordering? And I have to save the glass because you don't need one. But what's in your glass tonight?
I've got the Captain Lawrence, which is a local brew here, and it's the Hop Commander IPA. I've become an IPA junkie.
Put it in a glass for me.
I know, man. I'm
so better in a glass. I mean,
I went from Bud cans to this. I don't know what happened to
me. That's awesome. So, what golf ball do you play when you're out on the golf course?
Pro V1.
That's not the X, because that seems to be the most popular answer.
I like the spin, you know. I guess I like the spin. You know, it's fun to watch that thing spin back.
Exactly, I love it. So you're gonna laugh. I hope you laugh because I thought it was funny when I wrote this question. What are your thoughts on socks with flip flops?
No.
He didn't laugh. He just tells you no.
No.
That's awesome.
I tell you what, the only thing better than wearing LIFT23 socks is wearing no socks at all, and. I like wearing my flip-flops, but damn, I'm not going to wear socks with them, dude.
That's awesome. So maybe not yours necessarily, but what is the most you've ever paid for a pair of socks? Because I can see that just being astronomical depending on the socks that you wear. But what's the most you've paid?
$60. It was a compression socks. I was like, what's the whole deal here? So I was intrigued, and, you know, it's business. And it was a write-off.
There you go. It was research.
Yeah, holy cow. It's, way overdone. I got to get in that business because it's ridiculous.
So what tour players are wearing the socks? You got many guys on tour wearing them right now?
You know what? Colt Nost has them. Like I said, I just sent them out to Scott Piercy. And I've got a lot of tour caddies playing. So Jason Day's caddies wearing them, Justin Rose's caddy. You know, because they're the hardest working guys out there. So who better than to really test a good sock than the guys who are doing twice the walking as anybody else, and they're endorsing it. So once I get their endorsement, and I'll be getting a lot on Twitter now, then you know you're doing something right. So
I dig that. So another style question: would you ever wear black socks with brown shoes or brown socks with black shoes?
I've done it.
What? Interview over. What? I mean, I'm so curious.
I know. Are you wearing shorts or you got long pants?
I mean, no, you're not wearing shorts.
You know, if I'm in a bind, you know, which it's probably not the thing to do, but I think in a bind it's acceptable. It's better than socks with flip-flops. Let's put it that way.
I will only allow this because this is a guy drinking an IPA straight out of the bottle. So I'm just baby steps. We'll get there. Now,
right, we'll get there.
You see him above me, and he's there this week, all smiles. He's got a little goatee going right now, so he's definitely comfortable at the Ryder Cup. He's not playing. So Tiger. Now, we were talking before we went live a little bit about Jack. Do you think Tiger breaks Jack's record? Why or why not? And this interview, based on your answer, really could be over, depending on what you say.
I know you're a Tiger fan, but I'm a Jack guy, man. Sorry. I think, you know, Tiger started going wrong once once he started getting the family and he had more variables. He wasn't able to keep it all together. You know, Jack was able to keep it together and had that family core structure, which is so important to him, and he was able to go the distance. And I don't know at this point that Tiger can go the distance, but unbelievable player. I mean, yeah, I'm a Jack guy.
All right.
Big fan of Tiger, but I'm a Jack guy.
I'll allow that. And the Tiger's coming back. He's going to be back at the Safeway Open at Silverado Resort and Spa here in a couple of weeks. So it'll be curious to see. I think he's gonna play well. I don't think he wins, but I think he competes. I think he's in the field on the weekend, and
I'd love to have him back, man. It'd be great. You know, him and Spieth going at it, and there's so many young guys, and him when he gets back, it's great for the games. Yeah, it'd be great.
And your final question of your hashtag Wednesday match play is, what's next?
Oh man, I've got a lot of things in the hopper. I've got a hunting sock I'm working on. I got a lot of people actually reaching out to me asking for a hunting and fishing sock, and I've got some casual dress socks. Actually, a lot of the clubs are asking me to do a casual sock with their logos on it. So I may be doing logos on socks, which is quite an interesting thing. And then I have a run cycle sock, and then a multi-sport, kind of like the Nike Elite, but much better. It's not a polyester blend. This is the real deal, using the best stuff. So yeah, I got a lot of things in my lab over here, and we should be introducing them within the next seriously within the next 6 months, because yeah, we'll be launching a lot of different products.
That is awesome. Hey, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, man. This was great. Like I said, we were talking about socks, and we just spent 40 minutes doing it. And I've got more questions, but we're out of time. But normally on the Wednesday match play, I like to finish by saying, remember to eat, sleep, golf. But this week, because of what happened, I'm going to have to dedicate this entire episode. And being an Arnold Palmer fan, I think you will agree. But this episode is dedicated to you. So, Arnie, rest in peace.